Hey everybody, welcome back to Watching in the Dark. I'm your host today, Garrett. We're going to be going over missions 31, 32, and 33. If you haven't watched our other videos in the series, please go back and watch those. They'll give you a little bit more outline and how to help with other missions in the new book. With that all out of the way, let's get into it. First up, we have mission 31, Tides of Conviction. This is a 6 objective mission with Control 2, Control 3, Control More. This mission is interesting because it's got so many objectives in no man's land so close together, which really incentivizes you to take your opponent's objectives to score 2 victory points if you control at least 1 objective in your opponent's territory, and 3 at the end of the game for each one you control in the opponent's territory. This mission really rewards armies that are either hyper durable, that are kind of slow, or armies that have a lot of units that are melee focused that can really go and take these objectives from the enemy units and really get ahead on primary for once. Because the objectives are so close, it's so hard to hide that it makes it much more challenging to sit back, wait, and play the long game. Mission 32, Death and Zeal. This is a 5 objective mission that's Control 1, Control 2, Control More. Death and Zeal has one of the only primaries that is a 2-parter, basically, where you can either score 2 points for doing one of the following, or get 3 points for doing both of the following, which is take an objective you did not control at the start of your turn, or remove an enemy unit from an objective. This is one of the missions where you can play a little bit safe earlier on, getting 8s, and really come back into the late game by taking people off objectives and scoring those 3 primary points in addition to your normal score. So, say on like turn 3, you start going in with a lot of units, you can actually take the middle point, which will give you a huge primary point differential if you can maintain that point past that turn 3 till your turn 4. This mission is also very similar to Mission 22, Conversion, where you might be incentivized to take things like Engage on All Fronts and R&D. And last but not least, we have Secure Missing Artifacts, Mission 33. This one's a little bit different than most missions. It is a 5 objective mission. That's Control 1, Control 2, Control More. It also has a benefit of being one of those missions that are really good at starting with Engagement Off Fronts or R&D, because you're starting in multiple corners. But this is also a mission where you have to move all but the center objective marker 6 inches horizontally. This is one of the easiest missions to score your max primary on, due to the fact that it makes your opponent pick an objective in your territory to be a secure objective. Once that's done, you just have to control that at the end of your turn for 5 turns to get 15 points. It's one of the easiest objectives realistically to do in the game. And the reason is because if you can control that objective and one other objective for every turn of the game at the start of your command phase, that will give you more than 45 points primary by itself. If you can score an 8 every turn and then 3 from this every turn, including the first turn for this one, you'll be able to score over primary, which is normally bad, but in this position, it's one of the easiest ways to do it. So you can really focus on your secondary game. Well, I hope this series was insightful to all of you, and you guys will use it in your next Warhammer 40k games. If you guys have any questions or anything that I missed or anything I didn't think about, feel free to leave a comment below and give me ideas for a future video. If you did like this video, or some of the ones in the past, feel free to like and subscribe to the video. It really does help us out and grow, so we can make more content just like this. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.